Hello and welcome to MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. On this Sunday, two games with actually very similar kind of patterns in them. We'll discuss that in just a second. First, would like to welcome Miss Lisa Sthalekar and Mr. Shaun Pollock. Good afternoon. How are you? Good to have you back.
Great to be back.
Sunday to Sunday? Yeah. You are our God.
I looked yesterday and there was only one game. I went, right, okay, I've got the two games.
That's
great.
Right.
I love working.
We had the one game, which let us watch Avengers in the afternoon. I took Shaun as well. Loves it. He's a Marvel fan like you have no idea.
I'm a convert.
He is a recent convert. Okay, well, we have a converted team that's playing today. By that I mean RCB converted their fortunes, lost 6 in a row, and now suddenly they're like, whoa, win. And the Delhi Capitals, now why this game is so interesting is because if Delhi Capitals win today, they get that Q against their name, they qualify. And if RCB loses today, they're out. So that result means one qualifies, the other's out. The other result means more to RCB than to Delhi. Because Delhi, well, they go, all right, we've got 2 more matches. We have to win 1 to qualify. But RCB stays in the game if they win today.
Yeah, they do. And I've been part of a side that's lost the first 6 games for the Sydney Sixers when the WBBL started. And we won every game, the remainder of the game, to get into the final. So when they won that first game, I put out on Twitter, I said, do you think they'll be like the Sydney Sixers? And everyone's like, no, there's no chance. And I'm like, every time they win, it's just funny. The momentum just keeps building and building and building. And they do have nothing to lose. Everyone's expecting them not to make it. So as Virat Kohli always says, they're playing with freedom, they want to have some fun, and that's what they're doing at the moment.
Should have played with that same freedom probably earlier in the tournament, right?
Yeah, it always leaves the question, what were you doing for the first 6 games?
Do you just take that pressure? I mean, a lot of people call, Virat Kohli, successful captain internationally, it's an RCB team, it's got a lot of fans. Then the legacy issue of not having won ever, and all the people saying, oh, this year they can do it, because that happens every year. And maybe you just start sluggish because RCB's also always had, last year they had an issue of picking their right 11 because they've got a lot of good international players, So that can happen. You've been part of an IPL setup. Maybe getting the 11 right becomes an issue.
It can, but if you put AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli into a team, no matter which team it is, for 6 games you would think, one of them is going to win you a game. So it was a surprise start, but it's good to see them playing again. And scenarios.com, there's a chance. Not only is there a chance that they can go through on 14 points.
They can, without even net run rate coming into play,
exactly.
Right?
And that's a massive advantage if that happens.
Yeah, it means it's in their hands again.
So what do they have to do? They need to win every game, right? So that's simple. What's in your hands, you do. You need a few other things to happen for you as well, which is essentially, if I was to condense this, you need the teams at the top basically to beat the teams that are just around you. So the teams that are around RCB, which is Hyderabad or Punjab, you need the top teams to basically beat them.
Keep winning,
Yes. So,
but it's even more so. I think Bangalore won 3. Mumbai have to beat Kolkata once.
Yeah.
Kolkata and Chennai need to beat Punjab.
I thought my explanation was less confusing.
Yeah. I agree, actually. I'm like, huh?
Seriously?
I'm lost now. Do they have
Bangalore
to
win
on the third Tuesday?
We can all understand that one.
Yeah.
Mumbai play Kolkata twice. They just have to win one of those games.
Why not win both?
No need.
No need. But they still can. It just becomes easier to understand. Yeah. Mumbai beats Kolkata twice, so take Kolkata out of the equation. Take Punjab out of the equation.
Kolkata lose 1. In fact, by tonight, they might be out of the equation.
KKR is going to do something today, I'm telling you. They've also had 6 losses in a row. You know what the pattern is? Sydney, Bangalore, Kolkata.
Here we
lose
go.
6,
Although if you go into Kolkata's history, there was a pattern once upon a time when the Avengers weren't even part of anything. That they lost 9 in a row.
They did.
Just saying, just putting it out there.
And people in this studio don't want to talk about that, do they?
Well, in this studio we don't mind. It's in the back of the studio.
In the back of the studio, in a little sweatshop. Yeah. Hey, listen, it's a bit like, what was that? It was Black Wednesday, right? At Wimbledon a few years ago when Roger Federer lost in the second round. He lost, and that was Black Wednesday, and that was Wimbledon. And that's the match that I went to see from India there, sitting at centre court watching Federer lose, just drinking. And going, no! So we don't talk about those kind of days.
Right.
So similarly, they wear the KKR jerseys and they sit in there. They haven't washed them since they got them 9 years ago. Good luck. So that's why I call it the sweatshop. All right. So, well, the other team, of course, Delhi Capitals. Now, Delhi Capitals, very simple. Basically looking at winning just one. They've got 3 to play, including today. They've got 3 to play. They need to win 1. If they can do that, they become the second team to qualify, which is a big boost now, Lisa, for that team.
It is a massive boost. But every time that they've been away and had success and then come back to their home ground, they've struggled. They've struggled with the pitch. They've struggled to understand how to adapt quickly. I hope this time that the young batting order kind of have learnt their lessons, and then they can show Ricky Ponting and the rest of the coaching staff that they've learnt their lessons, and they're certainly a team to be reckoned with come finals.
Yeah, Delhi haven't been able to play very well in the capital. It's been a bit of a challenge for them in this tournament so far.
He's happy with that, isn't he? Look at him, he's like...
I've got another one. Delhi haven't had any capital gains at home.
Okay. Didn't they win one game?
I think they've won.
They
They've won 2 actually.
Game.
Out of the, what have they played? 5 here? They've played 5 here, they won 2. So I feel like that monkey may just be off their back now. They still don't like the surface. It still doesn't suit them. If it's a low and slow, it doesn't suit them. But if they can still win, that's great.
Tell you who it does suit. Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
He plays all right when he gets a gig here.
Yeah.
He knows the conditions.
He knows
performs
the conditions.
well.
It's his home ground. Loves it. Let's see what he's done in Delhi. He's played 8 innings here for 405 runs. A healthy strike rate, a good average. Look at that. Okay, we talk about the Basra, right? That's in 230. Wow. That's good. He likes it.
It is good. And one thing I love about Virat Kohli is he assesses the conditions really well. He bats based on the conditions, also where the game is at and what the team requires. So he's quite happy, I think, to probably go a little bit slower, get used to it, and then go harder at the back end. Yeah. So someone of his experience and obviously knowing the conditions well will prosper today.
And his vintage, someone of his vintage and his class. Well, today it's the Delhi Capitals, Shreyas Iyer, who's won the toss and decided that they're going to bat first. They've got a change in their team, which we actually predicted last evening, that on this surface you get Sandeep Lamichhane coming in, perhaps Chris Morris. So that's what's happened. That looks like a tight bowling attack, Shaun.
Yeah, it's quality. Rabada has been the performer with the ball in the tournament so far, and then they've got all bases covered. Ishant Sharma's done pretty well.
Unsung hero, hasn't he, for Delhi, bowling those overs up front?
He's performed nicely.
He has. Does it also become he missed a couple of IPLs in the middle, right? Nobody would buy him in the auction. Quality, almost about to play 100 test matches, and then nobody picks you. When you're back, it just almost feels like, I got to show them, man.
Yeah, I think also when you're playing test cricket and you're bowling those lines and lengths, I think Delhi Capitals have used him really smartly. Yeah. They've used him up the top, where he can bowl those similar lines and similar lengths. Yeah. And it's making it hard for the batsman to really score runs. They're not really using him at the back end, so it's smart.
22 out of his 30 or so, right, in the power play. 22 out of his 30 overs. And with an economy of 6 points, you'd bowl that in a power play and say, a captain says, give me a run of ball, man. In the power play, I'm happy.
Yeah, and the thinking's changed. At one stage, it almost used to be you bowl 1 over, you can't bowl more than 1 over, and sometimes 2. But this RPL, we've seen quite a few examples of guys being pushed through to bowl 3, and I'm all for it. As a fast bowler, you also do find rhythm, believe it or not. It's not just the batsmen who get into their rhythm. The fast bowlers also get into a bit of a rhythm. And if they've got something going and the ball's shaping, they're moving, they're doing a decent job, don't have to pull them out. Yeah. Because when they come back, they've probably lost the rhythm. Yeah, they're stiff and they're a bit tight. And some 2 batsmen might be set, and as they run up and bowl the first delivery, some guy meets them halfway and smacks them out the ground, and they're back to point A. So if you are going well, some good example has been Chahar for CSK. I mean, he gets the ball to swing around, and he's been really successful. So I'm glad that they've adopted that strategy. And you also do have to say, say for example, Patel, his strength is to bat in the first 6 overs. They've used that as a strength. Yeah. If you've got guys who bowl well, if they can't bowl to death, doesn't mean they're weak. They can still do a job for you. And that's where they've identified Ishant Sharma and saying, listen, he can do a job for us here, so let's make him do a job there.
Can that sometimes happen, Lisa, though, that there's just conventional wisdom of T20 saying, oh no, you got to bowl just 1, or maybe 2, no, 3. If even somebody suggests it, you go, no, but that doesn't happen. But sometimes you can just be a little too cute with the strategies.
Yeah, I think the evolution of T20 cricket has come around with it, where you didn't want to let the batsman get set and kind of pick out their spot. So that's why the chopping and changing happened regularly. But like we said, we've seen this year some different tactics, and it's worked. And I think you're right. When the ball is moving around, and if your bowler is able to swing the ball and isn't great at leg cutters or can do that, but he's better off bowling with the seam upright, let him have it.
Yeah.
I mean, Dale Steyn, when he came in, he was able to get the ball to move around. Tim Southey. So players like that, just give them the opportunity and then let them play to their strength. And then that's what Delhi Capitals have done. So I'm sure it will change.
Yeah,
Give it another, 12 months, 18 months, there'll be some new way of looking after the bowlers.
Yeah, well, talking about strategy and talking about sticking to your strengths, some of our super team competitors have done really well to that. And you can do it today. If you haven't been on the leaderboard, come on, MPL Super Team. Make your team, choose the game, and of course, get in the contest, get on the leaderboard, get 400 points. We shall doff our hat to you, young friends. We shall do that. All right, our young friends from RCB, let's see what team they've picked. They've obviously lost Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali's gone back home. So let's have a look at who they have in their team as replacement. They've got Heinrich Klaassen there. They've got Shivam Dubey in here. We were talking about him yesterday. So Shivam Dubey is in. Gurkirat Singh Maan. Bats, of course. Bowls a little bit of off spin as well. Don't know if they'll need that with Washington Sundar in the side. So there you go. That's their team. No Pawan Negi. No Akshdeep Nath. And of course, no Moeen Ali.
Yeah, Heinrich Klaassen gets a crack. He played, I think, one other game where he didn't get to the crease. So he'll be absolutely chomping. And he'll have thrived on just being in and around Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. He'll have learnt a lot. Hasn't played much cricket on the subcontinent. He sort of burst onto the scene for South Africa, but the second season he hasn't been included in the World Cup squad because he's had a bit of an average second season and hasn't managed to live up to the reputation that he created in that first season.
Hits a long ball.
He does when he gets going, but whether this kind of surface is going to help him, I'm not 100% convinced. But nice for him to get his chance and see what he can do.
There was a time when Chahal and Kuldeep were pretty much running through sides. And there was one slight rain-affected game, I think, where Klaassen pretty much just hit both of them to victory. I think it was in Joburg.
Yeah,
it was the end of 17.
Yeah,
he showed his class?
Yeah, class.
No, just low-hanging fruit.
It gets a bit weak, a bit early in the day, okay? He showed his class, son. Yeah, he showed his class.
Okay, let's talk about another guy who's been showing his class. It's Rishabh Pant. No, I'm not doing any puns on his last name. No, I'm not. I'm going to let that one go. But Rishabh Pant's not let too much go, has he? I mean, he started off on fire against Mumbai, that knock. Then after that, dropped sort of form in the middle games. But essentially what he's done is, so they played 11 games, right? And he's basically won you 2. You'll take that from a player, right?
Yeah, you'll take that from a player of his class, but also his age. You don't expect him to be as consistent as your senior players, your senior Indian batsmen, but he's so dynamic. And I think the pleasing thing was that he was able to finish off a game.
Yeah. But people too harsh on him, though, I have to say. Like, there's a few games he didn't finish. Again, you say the age point, that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, I think there's an expectation because he's played at the highest level for a little while now.
Yeah.
That his maturity will start to show. People do need to kind of check and go, hang on, he is still a young guy, still learning his cricket. And when you've got all of those array of shots, why wouldn't you try it? Seriously, sometimes the rush of blood just gets going and you want to kind of finish the game or dominate some bowlers, and that's what he's trying to do. He's learning, and the great thing is that he's improved over the course of this IPL, and the fact that he was able to finish off the game just shows that he has improved. So fingers crossed for Delhi Capitals that he's able to continue his run here at home.
It's tough sometimes, right? You have this prolific young talent, and you're like, okay, we've seen what you can do, but suddenly here, you need 20 of 20. Now, what do you tell him? Back your game and finish it with sixes? Or listen, just do this and get it across the line?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, in international cricket, sometimes you create your own expectation and people start to see what you can achieve and then think you should live up to that standard.
Victim of your own branding.
Yeah, or otherwise there's ones who see what you've got and create an expectation for you. And I think he's a case in point of both. We've seen him perform so well internationally in his young career. that he's created an expectation. And then when it comes to being one of the key members of the Delhi Capitals, there's an expectation that, hold on, he needs to win more games for us. But to have already won 2, what if they've got 2 or 3 games left in the knockout phase and then maybe the playoffs? If he wins another 1 or 2, he's more than done his job. I think, when you're selecting your sides, you try and pick 5 or 6 guys who've got some really good X factor. And if each one of those guys wins you 1 game or maybe 2, you're going to be going pretty far in the tournament. So he's more than done his part. And I don't think people should be too harsh on him.
And of course, there's Shikhar Dhawan, another Delhi boy. So Delhi boys are doing well for the Delhi Capitals. He was a big transfer for the Delhi Capitals, wasn't he? From Sunrisers Hyderabad. And he came in sort of a little struggling in the beginning of the tournament, perhaps. And then he's hit his straps. There you go. The first 6 and the last 5, totally 2 diverse stories.
Well, I think the first 6 kind of show you the transformation of leaving Sunrisers Hyderabad, where David Warner up the other end, and him providing, Shikhar Dhawan providing just that stability, that rock throughout the Sunrisers Hyderabad innings. Then he's come to this side where, again, there's all the dynamic players.
Yeah, there's the Prithvi Shaw next to him, the 20-year-old, where he has to be the senior partner.
Yeah, and Ricky Ponting came out publicly and said, look, I need you to score at a quicker rate. We need more from you.
I need, sorry, I'm going to interject you once here because this has been mentioned a lot of times in commentary as well. And I know Ricky Ponting, so I went back and saw that press conference, right? Because there was a big thing made, Ricky Ponting has scolded Shikhar Dhawan and is everything all right? I went back, it was a really casual thing which Ricky said, which is that it was almost throwaway that, Shikhar played slowly in this game and, we would need a little more from him. I don't know if it was as much as sort of chastising him or rapping him on the knuckles or something. He did mention it once, though.
Yeah. I think Ricky Ponting would have taken him aside going, look, we need more from you. We just need you to cash in that first 6 overs. Then you can do what you normally do.
Yeah.
Because then we've got guys coming around you and you're set by then. But he's just taken his game to another level. And the families have been around at the moment for the Delhi Capitals. So, maybe the kids and his wife and everything's going really well for him. So he's kind of transformed himself in Delhi Capitals, which is great to see.
He's come full circle. We nabbed him in season 2 to Mumbai from Delhi.
That's right.
And now he's got back there. But unfortunately also the coaching styles have changed a little bit in the RPL. In the old days there wasn't as much social media. And maybe you could have a bit more of a chat about what you want from your players. I think the modern era, a lot of the players are a little bit sensitive about what gets discussed, whether it's openly or in private. And unfortunately, it's a team game, and you sign to do a job. And at times, there's absolutely no problem with the coach calling you out because the coach is just saying what the fans are thinking.
Yeah.
And he wants the team to perform best, and there's different ways to get the most potential out of your players. So sometimes a press conference, if you mention he's not really going as well as we wanted him to, there's nothing wrong with that. You can't get overly sensitive. You have to take that feedback.
Yeah, but also we were talking about this in the makeup room earlier, and you gave us such a good story, which is about when KKR has lost 6 in a row. We're just going to switch to the second game real quick before we wind up here. There's what Andre Russell has said in the press conference there as well, right? There's a player who's sitting there going, and I don't leave my room, and this is a really bad, unhealthy position. We're always losing, we're making bad decisions. He hasn't left anything. I don't think there's no linen left in that linen basket.
Well, I've always got a firm belief that as players, you should almost midway through their career, you should stop them from playing for 2 years. 1 year, make them a coach, and then bring them back and make them a captain. And all of them must go to the press conferences and must go and answer all the questions, and then understand about the responsibility that a team setup has. It's easy for a player just to go to a press conference and shoot off his mouth about, where you don't have a responsibility. I firmly believe you should be careful about having an opinion.
Yeah.
And I just think there's nothing to be gained by going into a press conference and saying, we don't have a right vibe in our side, things aren't going to plan, I'm staying in my room. What's that going to achieve from a team perspective? If you've got those complaints, take it to management. Why does it have to go public?
The funny thing is, in the same press conference, when asked about West Indies cricket and how now Ricky Skerritt, if I get his name right, is sort of involving all the players in and getting all of this. When he was asked, he said, I'm happy to represent the nation again. And about the politics, I don't want to talk about the politics because I don't know politics. I just want to play the game. So it was like So you can
Yeah.
use your good judgment there. So it's not like you just shoot your mouth off all the time.
Well, he basically had a go at Dinesh Karthik, didn't he? The bowling options. He was very specific, saying we've had times when we could have won the game, but we've put the wrong bowlers on, and we've leaked runs, and bowlers haven't done the job, and we keep making the same mistakes. So whether there's an issue with him and Dinesh Karthik, and he's kind of now just aired it in public, but from a senior player, you don't want that. You don't want that at a press conference. You'd rather have that in a team meeting where everyone's around going, let's really be honest, let's just get everything off our chest. What are we going to do to improve?
To add to that, DK said in the post-match press conference, the guys need to trust me a little more. So this is all playing out in public theatre.
I mean, it wasn't so long ago that he did a press conference where they asked him about batting at 4 and he went, shh.
Yeah, that was Russell.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're wanting to get the best out of your team, those things don't help. We don't know the ins and outs. We don't know the relationship. So, it's, as I say, it's difficult having a proper opinion about it. But just from the outside, when you sit and watch those press conferences, it's not accomplishing anything for your team. By going out and talking out.
It's harmony.
We should get Shaun to tell that story of the pep talk to the team, shouldn't we?
No.
That's a good story.
No. And moving on.
I really like that story.
It's a really nice story.
Yeah.
We'll try to get him to do it. But the reason why we're saying that is because with KKR having lost 6 in a row, what do you tell them as a pep talk? Who does it? Does the coach step in? Do you have Callis? And that too, they're playing Mumbai, who they've not won against in the last 5 years. So what do you say to them?
There's pride in performance as an international, well, I suppose this would be an international stage. You've got to have pride in your own performance. So even if your team's not performing all that well, each day that you go out there, you've got a job to do. You take pride in doing it as best you can possibly do it. If every person looks after their own individual role, you're bound to at some stage get it where it all gels together and you get yourself a victory. They can't focus on results now. It's got to be each person doing what they were required to do on the day. The problem with it, and you get into those situations, and we've all been in team scenarios, is you start to look after yourself. You start to think about the next RPL, and if I can just get a 30 or 40 here, I'll secure my contract. And you start to get withdrawn in, and the corridor talk starts, and the press conferences, people start mentioning things, and there's da-da-da-da-da in the background. It's not a good team environment. And we've all been there, and it's almost like the cancer sets in and starts to take over. And unless something starts to run for you, those kind of scenarios play out.
Yeah, they are mild-mannered people there in the management, aren't they? I mean, you have Callis and you have Dinesh Karthik, the captain himself. So maybe they just need some fiery speech. I say Shaun Pollock should go. Fire them up, give them a little speech. Well, there's 2 teams playing, coming back to the first game that's happening, there's 2 teams playing that don't need any firing up at all because one's been playing really well through the tournament, which is Delhi, and the other one has had a resurgence, so they obviously don't need any pep talks there. Shreyas Iyer has won the toss and decided to bat first. Delhi ground, Lisa, you've been there a couple of times, Kotla, this season as well. Good decision? Expected decision?
I think so. For day games, given that there is no grass on the pitch, it's going to wear and tear even more. So I think dew is not going to be an issue. So get the runs on the board. The pitch is going to deteriorate more. And your spinners and your pace bowlers bowling off-cutters in the second innings will make it really hard for the opposition to score the runs that you've put on the board. So
is it the worst looking ground in India? Pretty much is, right? It's my call. Just is. Just the stands, just everything about it.
Well, you've also got the stand where we're in as a commentary box where no spectators are allowed.
Yeah, exactly,
as well.
like Ghost Town.
So it's really weird. It is a weird ground. I understand there's so much history involved with the ground, but it'd be nice if it could be done up a little bit.
No, I'm surprised you don't like it. I love it because I like to walk into a room and I like to get it cleared. I'm like, I want nobody around, right? No selfies, no people. So Delhi's batting first. I'm going to get your MPL Super Couch guesses in. What's it gonna be? Delhi, by the way, right now, Delhi, I think, is about 75 degrees Celsius or something like that in the afternoon game. It's burning.
Yeah, that's why it's always better to bowl second.
Yeah.
The cooler conditions.
Yeah, that's right.
And keep cool. Ladies
No,
first?
no, I always go
Ladies
first.
first.
No. This is
Okay, I've
not
won
fair.
167.
Wow, this is too low. Too low.
176.
170. We're moving in the right direction. I'm going to say 200.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you love going crazy.
Yeah.
Come on.
And he'll get it as well.
No.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
this time, I don't think.
200. Let's do it. Let's do it. We want a high-scoring game today.
You've been watching too much of Avengers. You're starting to think with an imagination here.
I think you're like Captain Marvel now, right? You can do anything. The reason why I'm saying that is, I'm saying it for you. For all you people who are playing MPL Super Team, you can only get, I keep telling you, you've got to get 400 points. You can't do it unless we have a 200-run game. So you see, I'm sacrificing the Super Couch for the greater good. That's the thing I picked up from the Avengers. You sacrifice for the greater good, Shaun.
167 for 9 and gets beaten by 168 for 8. 400 points, guaranteed.
No. 200 for 7, followed by another 200 for 8. That gets you 430 points.
But you've only just asked for something over 400. Now you're just being greedy. Yeah, you're being greedy now.
Yeah, I am. It's another thing I've learned from the Avengers, from Thanos. Be greedy. All right, let's get the Joy Factor question in before we leave. Professor Joy, of course, is sitting on our head. By that I mean he's in the Hindi studio upstairs. Mudassar Nazar and Mohammad Azharuddin are the first, and KL Rahul and Dean Elgar the latest. In which specific list in Test cricket? I know this answer. I am sending in my tweet right now. Can I take? I can't take part in it, right? Can I? Okay. I don't think I can send the answer before I tell you how you can send the answer. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live on Twitter. So send us your answer on that. It's actually pretty easy. It's easy. We've given you a clue. It was in what I was saying, somewhere around. Right, Shaun? You give the cryptic clues today.
I gave it a lot of thought, but I came up short. I didn't get the answer.
Yeah? Maybe you were just a little short. Just
could be.
Yeah? Perhaps just by small margins.
Small margins.
You've got the clues, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back in the 10th over with MPL Presents Cricbuzz Combox. Thank you so much for watching MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you in a bit.